Shalom, beloved. Welcome to Spark 22, Discovering the Light of Hebrew. I'm Gabriella Powers, and I'm so glad that you could join us for this week's episode. Shalom, beloveds. This week's Hebrew word study is on Nechash, Serpent, which you helped me pick out in last week's poll. Please make sure that you go to our Spark 22 Facebook page and vote on the poll for next week's Hebrew word study. It's the choice between change or sacrifice. Now, before we get started, I just want to say I apologize for all of the noise. You might hear dump trucks, airplanes. Just try to focus on my voice, okay? Now, this word study is coming from Genesis 3:1 and Isaiah 27:1. It has 3 letters in it. The first letter is Nun, which has a numerical value of 50. That represents freedom and fullness in life. The Picto Hebrew actually shows a picture of a seed. It shows a humble one bent in submission to Yahuwah. And it's also the symbol for fish in Aramaic, which is a symbol of life. It's the 14th letter of the Hebrew alphabet, so that leads us to King David, which then leads us to Yeshua the Messiah. The second letter is Chet, which has a numerical value of 8, which means grace, wisdom, and new beginnings. Now, the Picto Hebrew shows a picture of a tent, a wall, and it represents separation. It also represents a doorway of light from the heavens, and it gives us a picture of a believer who is yoked in discipleship to Yeshua. The last letter is Shin. It has a numerical value of 300, which actually represents divine protection, divine blessings, or divine judgment. It also represents teeth, sharp and press, eat, consume, and destroy, and it represents the changeless essence inside the changing. Now, beloveds, with those 3 Hebrew letters, my question is, what do these letters tell us about the character of the enemy as being symbolized in the scriptures as a serpent? So we're not looking at these letters for a literal serpent. We're looking at the character of the enemy and why Abba might have chosen to use a serpent as symbolizing the character of the enemy. The first letter, Nun, actually gives us some extremely compelling clues that the serpent has a primary target. Number 1, he wants to plant a seed. Okay, we'll get back to what kind of seed that is later. But his primary target is the believer's freedom and fullness of life in Messiah. The serpent also comes as one who appears humble and bent in submission because of his appearance. The second letter, Het, shows that the serpent also appears as one having wisdom, grace, and opportunities for new beginnings. The serpent mimics a doorway of light from the heavens, and Het affirms again that his target is the believer's yoked discipleship in Yeshua. He desires to create a wall and a separation between you and Yeshua. The last letter, Shin, reveals in completion that the serpent's mission is to eat, consume, and destroy the changeless essence of Yahuwah. Now, we know, of course, that he could never do that, but the Holy Spirit within us can be attacked and sharply pressed from the serpent's teeth, poking his character in us. Remember that seed from the first letter, Nun? When that serpent plants the seed, it's very subtle. It could be a seed of deception, a seed of pride, a seed of puffed up knowledge. That seed eventually, through the process, takes root and grows fruit, beloved, that you're able to discern only after the fact, unfortunately. But what I want to encourage you with is that these letters also reveal to us how to discern and protect ourselves from the serpent's character. Spark 22 is a ministry specifically dedicated to bringing Abba's word to the ends of the earth and helping spark deeper understanding by the power of the Holy Spirit into your daily faith lives. If you have been blessed by our ministry to Abba, please consider sowing a love gift into this ministry today to help us continue to be a light to the world. You can donate at www.paypal.me/GaviWarrior. Noon reveals to us that we can remain humble before Abba. We can daily seek out any seeds that might have been planted if we just ask His Holy Spirit in humility to reveal to us daily. As Yeshua says, abide in Him. Het actually shows us that we need to stay under Yeshua's tent and rely on His wisdom and His Spirit to guide us and reveal to us grace and wisdom and new beginnings that He desires to give us. Shin shows us that we need to allow His changeless essence within us to eat, consume, and destroy any sin and bad habits that lead astray. Remember that the serpent's character comes masked as a doorway of light from the heavens, when its end result is destruction. Paul talks about this in Corinthians as well, how the enemy comes as an angel of light. Now, what I want to encourage you, beloved, is to remember to check for pride and knowledge that puffs up daily in your faith walk so that you can protect from the character of the serpent slithering his way into your faith walk. It's very subtle. Ask the Holy Spirit to help you identify the seeds when they're planted, before they take root, before they grow fruit. I hope that blessed you. Shalom Aleichem. Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Spark 22, Discovering the Light of Hebrew. I'm Gabriella Powers, and I would like to invite you to stay tuned for next week's Spark 22 video. If this video blessed you, make sure to hit like and share so others can be blessed as well. If you have any suggestions on how we could do better, or if you'd like to encourage us, make sure to drop a comment below. We'd always love to hear from you. Until next time, I'm Gabriella Powers. Shalom Aleichem.